Got a new iPod for Christmas. Take that, guy who stole my last one. Snapchat! Alright, so I got a bunch of creative ideas coming up in the next little while, but a lot of them are time consuming, and this week I just don't have time, and I don't want another video this week. So we're just going to talk about the things that I have. So we're going to start with piercing. The first one that I got were my two bottom lobe holes. Sorry about the quality, it's really hard to take a picture of your own ear and then crop it down to get one only piercing in it, so sorry. It's kind of usually the first one. My mom took me to get them done on my 6th birthday. I don't remember much about that day, but I remember being stoked on life. And they healed fine, everything was perfect with them, so it worked out really well. And then I got the hole right next to them when I was 10 or 11, I think? Oh, this is just terrible, but there it is. I don't really remember anything about that at all. I just know that now I have them. And then my next piercing was my nose. And there's my nose. I have terrible jewelry in it, and the lighting's terrible, making my entire everything look red apparently. So here we go. And I got it done when I was 14 originally, and it took so long to convince my parents to let me get it done. And I had to sign a contract, which I'll show you. I, Danica Johnson, promise that if my dad lets me get my nose pierced now, I won't even consider another piercing / a tattoo until I am at least 25. Apparently I was in a rush because I spelled at least as one word, but then I wrote the word space underneath it, and I also spelled my own last name wrong, and that was apparently back in the days when I actually tried to have a good signature. That stated that if I got my nose pierced, I wouldn't ever get another piercing or a tattoo. The first time I got my nose pierced, I went to Orchid, which is in West Edmonton Mall, and I wouldn't recommend anybody going there. Every experience that I've had has been a bad one. It was good for me back then because it was cheap and I was 14 and I was like, yay, I don't have to spend much money to get everything that I want, you know. So, but as far as quality goes, I didn't ever find it to be the best, and that's the most likely place I had problems with my piercings at. I got my nose re-pierced when I was 16 because for a full year my nose, the swelling didn't go down the entire year and it was constantly in pain, so I eventually took it out, and then when I was 15, and then waited a year to get it done. I was 16. And it's been fine ever since, and I still love it. The piercing I got after that was the one at the very top of my ear, the helix. Super close above the top of my ear. What happened there was we were in some sort of salon somewhere that did like the gun piercings, which I don't recommend. You should never do that. Just promise me right now that you'll never use a gun. But my sister had been wanting hers done for quite a while, so she asked my mom, and my mom agreed. And then I looked at my mom with these big blinking eyes, and luckily at that time, for whatever reason, mom forgot about the contract, so she said I could do it too, and the contract was broken, so everything worked out for me right there. I was 16 or 17, I think. I'm trying to think, I can't remember which came next. I'm pretty sure it was the two on the side of my ear over here. So those are those two for you. I went with my friend, a group of friends actually, to the mall, to Orchid again, and I got them both pierced at once. And now I finally have good jewelry in them, which is nice because they had the same problem where they weren't ever stopped doing bad things. Yeah, I don't really have much else to add about that one. The next one would have been the one, I don't even know what it's called. The dot across from the two last ones, and that's my full left ear. But I'm actually pretty sure that I got it done at Orchid too, and this would have been my only good experience there. Because I expected it to be way worse than it was, and in my experience, I'm not saying it's going to be the same for everybody, but in my experience, it hurt the least, and I was able to sleep on that side of my head that night. So that was pretty cool for me, because I expected it to be like this whole big ordeal of pain, and it totally wasn't. So the next piercing I got was my belly button. Bow, chicka, wow, wow. I got it at Drake & FX in the mall. That was a really good experience for me. I remember one of the things that I was nervous about getting my belly button pierced was I know a lot of people that say that theirs didn't go in completely straight, so a lot of people have theirs crooked, and I was really worried that was going to happen. So I talked to the girl ahead of time about that, and she said, no problem, we'll do it right for you, and they did. And they were very professional and very polite and well-mannered, and everything went really well. I was very happy about that experience. I got that done when I was 19. My boyfriend at the time came with me to get that done. And it was overall a great experience, and I was so excited because I had wanted it for so long beforehand. The one after that I got was my conch. And there it is. I'll also just really quickly show you my full right ear. And I went to Calgary. I can't remember if I was 19 or 20. Must have been 19. Later on that year. I don't know how that worked. Time is a funny thing. But I went to Calgary, and my friend heard about this place called Heroes and Villains. And so we went there, and from now on I will never go anywhere else to get a piercing done because they are very professional. They know what they're doing. They know how to explain things to you properly. They know how to educate you, and they educated me on so many things that I didn't know before. It was not only the experience of getting the piercing, it was a learning experience, and it was things that I wished I had known a long time ago about piercings, so I wouldn't have had probably all of the bad experiences that I had in the past. Probably could have avoided that whole situation. And one plus for me is that they're all sarcastic, which is kind of my people, so that kind of worked out too. I always highly recommend Heroes and Villains to anybody when they said that they're getting any kind of body mod since that day, because I believe in them. They're what needs to be done. That covers all of my piercings to date, though technically, and this is the first time I guess I'm really talking about this, well, there was one time that a friend of mine and I pierced our lips just for the sake of taking pictures and then took them out, which we shouldn't have done, but we did. I gave myself spider bites. We took a whole bunch of pictures and then we took them out, and that was the whole thing. I don't have the picture right now because my laptop is being fixed by my sister's boyfriend right now, and it's been there for about 6 months, so I'm just hoping that someday soon, whenever I get that, I'll put a picture of that day on Instagram so you guys can see what I did to myself. And don't do that. Don't be as stupid as me. That's a dumb thing to do. I only have one tattoo. Look at it! And for myself, I believe in meaning and significance behind a tattoo. Now, if you're the kind of person that likes something because they think it looks cool and wants it on your body, I'm not here to judge you. I still appreciate the art, and it's your body, so whatever. But for me, I like meaning. So a tattoo is just over a year old. It's a swing set with 2 swings and some musical notes. And what this represents to me is the swing set represents the timeline of my life, because I've been swinging since, not like swimming, but like, you know what I mean, before I could walk. And I spend hours on my swing set every day that I can, and I've always been on it, so it's kind of like the symbolism of my entire life in one. There you go. There are 2 swings, one for me and one for my sister. And my sister is the most important person in the world to me. She's my best friend, and she always has been, so she deserves that swing. And the musical notes represent the music that have always been in my life, from when my mom spent every night of her pregnancy with me line dancing, and the piano lessons that I've had, and the guitar circles that have been at every family reunion that I've been to, and the songs that I've written since I was 4 years old, and just on and on. Music has always been a part of my life, so I included it in my tattoo. So it's kind of a whole of me. Some questions you probably have are, will I get more? The only way I'll get another tattoo is if I get it done by Megan Massacre. She's my favorite artist, and I would be honored to get something of hers on me. That would be really cool. Yes, I do know what I would want, but no, I will not tell you, because if I never meet her and never get it done, then it won't ever matter what I want. That's the only way I would get another one, and that would be it. And for piercings, I do still want some. Said that quietly because I don't want my mom to hear. Don't watch this video, Mom. There are still some that I do want, but it depends entirely on how much I go to Calgary and how much I want to disappoint my parents, because I know that I'm like an apprentice adult and I can make my own decisions, but I can physically hear my parents' hearts shattering whenever I put metal through my skin. So, do I want them? Yes, very much so. Will I get them? I don't know. Time will tell, I guess. Some advice that I have: if you're going to get a tattoo, get to know yourself first, because I think that's important for many reasons, but I think that you'll have less of a probability of regretting what you get if you know yourself really well before you decide what you want. For either, do your research. Seriously, do your research. Don't go through like the whole learning curve process that I did. Just go straight to Heroes and Villains if it's available, or if you don't want to spend money on a plane ticket to get your ears pierced, find somewhere else that's like Heroes and Villains around your area that can do a good job for you and that can teach you what proper jewelry is and what proper maintenance is and all of those things, because it makes a huge difference. The piece of advice I have is think about everything that you're going to do, because every piercing that I have and my tattoo that I have, I thought about getting them for between 3 and 8 years before I got any individual thing. And I don't regret any of them. I've never wanted to take out a piercing, and I probably, at the rate I'm going, never will, and it's because I thought about what I want, and I thought of it as an addition to my body, not as something I could remove later. So I think that makes a huge difference, because it's supposed to have a positive effect on your body, on your life, on your everything. So just put in the effort for yourself, because it may be, you may be in a situation, and I know I have before, where it's like, oh, I want to get it now while I'm young, and I'm only 21, I'm not that old, but I don't feel like I've aged since I was 14. Adults that are older than me have told me that they feel the exact same way. So that mentality is never going to change. And if you really want it, you're going to really want it a few years down the road. And I'm not saying you have to wait as long as I did for everything you do, but take some time to think about it. And you don't want to end up in a situation where you wear something for a week and you're like, well, this is whatever, and now you wasted your time and your money and your energy and all that stuff, and why go through that? Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Let me know in the comments if you have done any body mods to yourself, or if you want to, and let me know your good and bad experiences. A puppy gets its wings or something every time you subscribe, so get on it, and remember the camera adds 10 pounds.